Hello, hi leaders. This is Marathib from the 7 Habits of Highly Effective Community, and welcome to our session. A lot of people they were requesting that we should start some reading from the books of Dr. Stephen, and that's the purpose of our group as well, which is growing as well. I congratulate all of you that we have reached of milestone of 10,000 members, and obviously that's your contribution towards the group, your goals, your objectives, your learning attitude, your sharing and caring about other members. They all makes the group grow and more rich as well. So keeping this fact about we last month we discussed about we will start book reading of the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and also the 8th habit, from effectiveness to greatness. These are the two legend books from Dr. Stephen Covey. He wrote these two books, and this group is about these two books as well. So fact is that we have started to read this book in form of these online session. We will come on online as well, and we will try to read these books, selected chapters, selective topics, based on your request. We will read, we will discuss, and also we will try to make sure that it is well grasped, and we learn as well out of these things. So I'm going to read one of the important question from the book, The 8th Habit, written by Dr. Stephen Covey. This is one of the legend book, and one of my favorite book as well. In this book, on page 318, I'm going to read, and there is a question answer which Dr. Stephen has tried to explain and answer to one of and most of the fundamental question people have raised on different time to time as well. So I'm going to read the answer of the question, which is the topic of our today's session as well. The question is, I find it's almost impossible for me to change my habits. Is this realistic? Am I a unique person? So this is a question, and obviously that question is very fundamental. Many people who comes in the field of personal development, who wants to improve their life, and they wants to make some bad habits to quit, and also to adopt or turns the bad habits into positive or effective habits. That their intention is usually. So the question is, many people, they have a mindset they can't break their habits, and how they can break habit which they have been nurturing through their childhood, their adulthood, their lot of areas in life, and a long age they have spent in these habits, and also they don't have any productive habit, and it's too late to develop any new habit. So these are the questions people always have in their mind. Dr. Stephen Covey, when he wrote the book The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, so actually that brought a revolution in not only in a self-help industry, but also in the area of business section as well. all over the world, because people were thinking that they can't change their habit, and they were using, or they were trying to transforming their life through other ways of mindset. But Dr. Stephen Covey gave the mindset of habits, and we can change the habit, and we not only can change habit, but also we can become more effective, and we can create greatness within us ourselves by adopting certain habits through a systematic process, through a systematic way of thinking, through grasping or changing in our paradigms through which we see the world. And we can follow and practice these habits, and these habits start to make us, and then we can be on a path of greatness. The path of greatness is also elaborate in very detail in this legend book, The Eighth Habit. And that question is very fundamental. Before going to tell you what is answer of this question, I want to just remind you your knowledge about what is habit. So on page 35 of this book, Dr. Stephen has illustrated the habit in form of three circles, and these three circles are intersecting, and one circle is of related knowledge, other is of attitude, the third is of skills. So when knowledge and attitude and skill combine together, when they intersect together, then it forms habit. So habit is actually the combination and the intersection of knowledge, attitude, and your skills. And obviously that is very relevant on a personal capacity and also on a business level as well. So let's come back to the answer of this question, and I'm going to read, and if we want it, we can explain as well a little bit. I hope my voice is okay and you can hear me very clearly. Let me see my other screen that my voice is okay, and is there any I'm just checking the other screen, that is it okay. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, sorry about that. So I think my video and voice is okay. Thank you. So let's go to for the reading on page 318. I will read the question again and then we will read the answer. Question is, I find it's almost impossible for me to change my habits. Is it realistic? Am I unique? Question mark, full stop. The answer is you are not alone. Let me explain why. Perhaps you remember or have seen in a more recent video or a movie the film clips showing the lunar voyage of Apollo 11. Those of us who witnessed it were absolutely transfixed. We could hardly believe our eyes when we saw men walking on the moon. Where do you think the most power and energy were expended on that journey into space, going 250,000 miles to the moon, and returning to the Earth, orbiting the moon, separating redocking the lunar and command module, lifting of the moon. No, not any of these. Not even in all of these together. It was lifting off from Earth, planet Earth. More energy was spent in the first few months of liftoff from Earth. In the first few miles of travel than was used in 500,000 miles from several days. The gravity pulse of those first few miles was enormous. It took an internal thrust greater than both the pull of gravity and atmosphere resistance to finally break out into orbit. But once they did break out, it took almost no power to do all of those other things. In fact, when one of the astronauts was asked how much power was expended when the lunar module separated from the command module to go down and survey the moon, he answered, inverted commas started, less than breath of a baby, inverted commas close, full stop. This lunar voyage provides a powerful metaphor for describing what it takes to break out of old habits and create new ones. The gravity force of Earth could be compared to deeply embedded habits, tendency programmed by genetics, environment, parents, and other significant figures. The weight of Earth's atmosphere could be compared to the wider societal and organizational culture we are part of. These are two powerful forces, and you must have an internal will that is stronger than both of forces in order to make lift-off happen. But once it does happen, you will be amazed at the freedom it gives you. During lift-off, astronauts have very little freedom or power. All they can do is carry out the program. But as soon as they pull away from the gravity of Earth and the atmosphere surrounding it, they experience an unbelievable surge of freedom. And they have many options and alternatives. If you will simply start down the pathway of finding your voice and inspiring others to find their voice and stick with it, you will develop the power of this new habit to grow and change in today's world of tremendous challenge, complexity, and opportunity. So that was the answer of Dr. Stephen of the question. So basically he is emphasizing of breaking of the paradigm which we have developed or we have nurtured in our mind since our birth. But if we have a power to change ourselves, if we power to choose our response, if we have a power to break our old paradigms, then we will try to find another alternative to build new habits. And these new habits, and that is called the eighth habit, which Dr. Stephen is saying. And the eighth habit is referring you to find your voice, to inspire others to find their voice. This is actually the habit of a greater degree of leadership. A leader will also inspire the other in the way that they will find their voice, not only find their his voice, but the other people will inspire from that person. So that leader is very much is the person who is inspiring to others, and other are inspiring other, and that will all multiply. So this is the field of inspiration. This is the entirely new horizon of inspiration and get aspirations. So let's go to the summary of this answer, that how we can break our habits. We can break our habits by finding our voice. The eighth habit demanding you need to find your unique voice which God has given to you. That unique voice will inspire others and they will find their voice, and how it multiply to hundreds and thousands. So in this unique book, Dr. Stephen Covey has explained in very detailed, step by step, topic by topic, step by steps, that how you can develop your habit of after developing the 7 habits, like 8th habit. So answer of this question is very much has an answer by adopting the 8th habit, and that's Dr. Stephen is saying how that he is giving you the example of once upon a time we used to worship moon. We used to worship a object which thousands years ago a man used to watch, and they call it moon. And just 50 years ago a man stepped on a lunar on a moon, and when he landed, then he actually broke all old paradigms of not to do any not to achieve something significant. He is giving a metaphor that you have to pull out from the gravity of earth, and then you can enjoy, and you will be in a different world. Like the astronaut, they have to had a great and very high power to come out from the gravitational field of earth. But once they have come out, then they enter into a different world, and that different world were taking them towards their destination, and that destination was the land of moon. And when they landed, and that gave a great message to entire world about how anything can possible. The man who used to assume that this earth has something significant right opposite to on the sky, which is called moon, and some people they used to worship that moon, but now they have conquered it. They took the victory over their old paradigms, over their old mindset. So the same thing, we can conquer ourselves from our old mindset, from our old habits, and we can develop new habits, because we are unique person, and we are one of the very unique person from entire billions of population in whole world, in whole mankind. And we need to recognize, we need to identify, we need to unleash our potential in the way that we can develop greater habits, more advanced habits. And right from the habit number 1, habit number 2, habit 3 till habit 7, and then the 8th habit, which is described massively in this book. So through virtue of these principles and the values, we can develop the habits in ourselves, and then the habits will make us, and then we will achieve the high productive life, personal life, professional life, and also we will improve our relationship, we will develop ourselves, we will be a better employee, we will be better manager and boss in our at work, in office. We will be seeing leaders in our houses in form of children, and we will be a great contributor in our society where we are, so anywhere we are. So this is the message of today's question, which we read the answer from the book. So next time I will come with another question, and then we will try to answer it on the light of Dr. Stephen Covey's teaching and his great work, and also we can explain as well. So if you have any question, if you want to comment what we learned and I shared with you, you're very welcome to share here, and we will try further from it. Thank you very much, and I will see you next time again.